everybody, my name is Kishabub, and today I have a tree farm for you guys. It's very small and simple for you to build in your survival world. It has good sapling return, and it works with oak. Oak can make big trees, which doesn't really matter because we're stopping that by having this block and limiting its growth. Place your sapling. Well, first you would turn the farm on, and that lever would push this piston over to these observers. This observer would be pushed over starting a clock. That would power this dropper, which powers these two droppers, and then this observer comes up going into a comparator with the repeater, and there's a dropper under it right here, and that puts it into this dispenser, which hits the saplings. Now whenever a tree grows, this comparator will sense a log being put here. It won't sense a sapling, but it will sense a log, and it will go into this piston, which pushes down a redstone block, which goes into a 2-tick repeater, and then it goes into a slime block pusher, which will push a redstone block up. These observers will go into these sticky pistons, which pulls back the logs, and then a mechanism will start where these pistons push over these regular pistons, and then you have these pistons push these blocks, which means that if we activate this observer at the right time, it will only push on the retraction or on the extension and not the retraction, which would ruin the farm. That's what these pistons are doing. They're activating these 3 observers. And then next we just have the leaf crushers, which are just double piston extenders with the slime and honey blocks and the open fence gates. And then those transfer the signal over here, which are just more. So I can turn the farm on, and to break it we have a TNT duper, and every 2 trees that are planted, 1 TNT is dropped. So let me just and it has great sapling return. So if I just go in survival and go into free cam, I'm going to place a sapling, it's going to bone meal, and a TNT will drop. It will blow up the logs, and then I can just show you this happening. So as you can see, the TNT didn't go, but once I place the second one, you can see what happens. Okay, it's kind of quick. I can turn the game down slower. So if I place this sapling, you can see it is getting bone mealed. Oh, well, I just broke it. And then right as it's bone mealed, these observers are pushed over. This line is activated, and these observers are activated. So let me just, oh, and as you can see, I'm not running out of saplings. So let me just sit here, place a sapling right now. It grows, and you can see the whole thing working. So yeah, it basically is pushed across into this TNT duper system. As you can see, this TNT duper system is really simple. It uses water to roll it down, and if you want to see this trick, it is in my cobblestone generator video. I also use this because it's very helpful. And sometimes the logs will get stuck here, but there's nothing you can really do about that. I mean, there's probably a few things, but well, to see if birch works, let's just place our birch sapling. It's gonna take a second to bone meal because it is slower speed. Yep, there it is. Now everything's kicking in. It breaks the leaves, and I got 2 saplings back. It's really good. Okay, so to get started with the tutorial, I'm gonna have a material list up. So here's everything that you will need in this list. So you can see the numbers. Right here is how much you will need. Okay, so to get things started with the collection system, you want to make an 8 by 9 square. This is going to be in the direction, and this is because water only flows 8 blocks. So you'll have your water going that way, and your farm will be in this direction. So once you've filled in your square, just make an outline with white stained glass, and then you can get your water, and you can place it like this. So it all should flow without any water dropping down. Then you can get your hoppers and a chest. And you're going to want to put a chest on this side, or any side you want actually, and put 9 hoppers. Now this doesn't have to be your collection system, this is just for the tutorial, but it's just so it's simple to follow. So let's move on to building the farm. So let's get started with the on and off switch. And you did not see me add this, but I did off camera. I added a little system that we'll get into shortly. But anyways, place an observer under this dropper that will shoot it. Then place a sticky piston, and it's under this hopper, by the way. Oh, and if you want, you can place 2 more hoppers, but I didn't because I didn't feel that you needed it, but it is probably, I would recommend doing that. In fact, I will do that. Then we have 2 updating observers, which you can actually, in fact, you can actually switch this so it's toggleable by just having a little system like this. So you can just get a lever so it doesn't, if you worry about lag, that will actually fix it. In fact, if you're worrying even more, then you could get, actually no, you can't do that, I'm sorry. So yep, you could just have this, which toggle on and off, but I'm just gonna leave it on with the regular observer because I don't really mind it right now. Then you want a block with a lever. This will power and unpower this sticky piston with a redstone torch. 2 blocks under, you want a block, and then down a block, and then up a block, like this. So it should be a shape that looks like that. Then you want an observer going like that. And then you want over here, you can actually take out a hopper, just temporarily. I took out a bad hopper. I shouldn't have taken that one out, so it destroyed my repeater. But you can just put that back in. And then you can place 1 more. Then this chest right here isn't actually placed yet, but we just get a hopper, and we can put 2 hoppers facing into it like that. Then 1 more, and then go out at that much. Then just place 2 chests like that, or a double chest. And this is going to be your bone meal storage. So you might think that you should just expand it. You can just expand it in this way, but that's actually where your TNT duper is going to go, so you shouldn't do that. Although one more thing before we start moving on to the farm is the wall on the left side where your TNT is going to be closest to, just replace all that white stained glass with your obsidian that you've collected, like that, and just put some white stained glass just wrapping around that area. So to start your farm, you're going to want to know where to place the dirt to place in your tree. Now you want to go from this block of your collection system, so that is 1, 2, 3, and 4. On the 4th block, you want to go 1, 2, 3, 4 out, and then 1, 2, 3, and then your dirt block on top. Then you can get your dispenser and place it right here. So when you place a sapling, the bone meal will hit it. One thing, when you're AFKing, you want to make sure you're standing the very edge of the block towards the hoppers and not towards the droppers, because occasionally you will get a leaf that will pop up when you're AFKing, and that will stop you from placing saplings. So yeah, just watch out for that. So I've kind of laid out how big your collection system will be, and so yeah, so you can get your comparator. And where your dirt block is, you want to place a hopper and then the comparator on top, like this. And these hoppers need to be facing into each other. And then the player, will be standing right here. Get rid of that. The player will be standing here, which means you want to place your dropper facing in this direction. Hold up. Okay. Facing in that direction. That. And then you want to get your hoppers and make them all face into the dropper. And some of these hoppers will need to be removed, but we'll get to that soon. Just make all of them go like that. And yeah, so that's pretty much what you want to do. Then you want two more hoppers here. And a few more hoppers there. Now, I didn't include these hoppers, or these 2 or 3 hoppers in the material list, so try to get, I'll probably put up text that says get 2 more hoppers, 2 more extra hoppers, just so you know, early on. Next we can place in our sticky pistons, which will be right here, 1 block. That's why we have our hopper there, and go up 6 blocks. Then we want to go back 1 and go up 6 more blocks. Then you want a piston, regular pistons, and place 6 pistons like this. This is what it's going to push. The reason why we do this instead of just having pistons here is because it lowers the bone meal efficiency. So it's having to use more bone meal per tree, which is slowing down the farm. Then we want another line of sticky pistons with blocks. Now the good part about having this system is it does count as a leaf crusher. So it will crush the leaves of your tree, giving you better sapling return. Next we can get our observers and place them like this. So every other block you want an observer. This actually will bud power up to 2 pistons, which is why we don't have it every single block. And to update those, we're gonna need some pistons. So place a few pistons like that. 3 pistons, which will extend and update. Next you want 3 lines with your redstone dust on top. And then you want to go out 1 more and build this kind of glass structure. And then you want to put redstone dust on top of all of that. And that's pretty much it. Other than we need to wire these pistons. So we go up like that and put redstone on top like this. Now when it goes up the elevator, it will power each of these pistons. So yeah, that's how that works. And if you're wondering, I am using a mod to help me, just to help me do this tutorial. Then you want 2 more redstone dust. Then you get blocks, and you want to put a block here where your tower is. You want to put a block here, a block up, and like that. So you should have that shape. Get a repeater and set it to 4 ticks. Get some slime blocks and a redstone block. Here, but okay. And then put redstone block here with 2 slime blocks under. Then you can get a block and put redstone here, and make that same thing. We're gonna make that same thing, and it's saying this block. Oh, don't worry about that. So we're gonna probably use the same thing, the tower that we used over here, to wire up this. Yep. Why did I say probably? Anyways, you can just wire this all up, and this will power that. So, if you have done this part correctly, if we just place an item in here, or get some bone meal, if you get a bone meal, and then you place your piston, this is what's going to be powering all of it, and then a block under that, and just set the layer so you can see better, and then a piston here. What's it doing? Alright, piston here, take out that slime block and put it there. And you put redstone here with a 2-tick repeater. You should get a functioning system where it pulls over. Well, that happened really quickly. Is my game... Oh, right. These two need to be glazed terracotta. I'm glad I caught that. Yeah. You didn't want your friend. Anyways, so you should get a working thing that does push it out. Let's move on to the next part, which will be the leaf crushers. So, to wire this, we're going to need blocks here, and blocks here. We want a redstone dust, so this repeater will power that, and a repeater set to 1 tick. Next we can get some more redstone, put it up. We're going to make another tower, another glass tower. So this is an L shape with glazed terracotta and your concrete. Then we're going to put 2 sticky pistons, like this. 2 slime blocks and 2 open fence gates. You can actually add 2 more slime blocks with 2 more open fence gates. Now these are going to be your leaf crushers, so this is what it should look like, and you can just put redstone like that. So this is what it should look like. I know I went a bit fast, but 2-tick repeater and 2 redstone here. That's it. That's it. Then you can get your honey blocks, and you can place 4 like that, and then 2 pistons like that. Now we're gonna make a tower, so 2 glass blocks like that, and redstone like that, and then this is 2-tick repeaters, just a copy of what we did before. Now, one thing I do want to mention is you should probably get, this is what I would do. I would get extra materials in case I miss something. But yeah. Anyways, this repeater will go into this line, which will actually power this redstone. And you want to go 4 blocks, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 from that block, and then 2 redstone like that. So we're going to have our second pair of pistons right here, so you can kind of see it. Here, let me just place in the honey blocks. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2. So that's how far it should be. Then you glaze terracotta, and you already put the concrete there, and then 4 open fence gates. The reason why we use fence gates is because they don't have a hitbox, so the saplings can just slide right through. So, as you can see, there's a block here. This is where you stand. In fact, I'll just switch it to concrete just so you know, but you don't have to. And then 2 more blocks like that. Just, so as you're farming, saplings will fall here, and you just pick them up. Like, it'll just go into your inventory. Alright. So we can do the second double piston extender, and you can bring a line just like this. Here, wait, hold up. Just like that. And we have the same L shape. And then 2 redstone there and redstone on the rest. And then this is of course a 2-tick repeater with a block and a glazed terracotta and your 2 pistons. You get your slime and the 4 fence gates, and those should be your leaf crushers. Next, we're going to add the system that powers this. Now, the reason why we're using comparator and repeater instead of just redstone is because we don't want to power the hoppers around it. We don't want to power this and lock the hoppers. So we're using that. And then just remove that hopper. As I was saying before, you might need to remove one. And replace it with an observer with redstone on top. Alright, so if you place, let's say a log, I'm just going to get a log, and it shouldn't do anything if you just place a transfer block, but if you place a regular log, everything should work, and yeah, you'd have a tree farm working. So let's get started with the on and off switch, and you did not see me add this, but I did, off camera. I added a little system that we'll get into shortly. But anyways, place an observer under this dropper that will shoot it. Then place a sticky piston, and it's under this hopper, by the way. Oh, and if you want, you can place 2 more hoppers, but I didn't because I didn't feel that you needed it, but it is probably, I would recommend doing that. In fact, I will do that. Then we have 2 updating observers, which you can actually, in fact, you can actually switch this so it's toggleable by just having a little system like this. So you can just get a lever so it doesn't, if you worry about lag, that will actually fix it. In fact, if you're worrying even more, then you could get, actually no, you can't do that, I'm sorry. So yep, you could just have this, which toggle on and off, but I'm just going to leave it on with the regular observer because I don't really mind it right now. Then you want a block with a lever. This will power and unpower this sticky piston with a redstone torch. 2 blocks under, you want a block, and then down a block, and then up a block, like this. So it should be a shape that looks like that. Then you want an observer going like that, and then you want over here, you can actually take out a hopper, just temporarily. I took out a bad hopper. I shouldn't have taken that one out, so it destroyed my repeater. But you can just put that back in. And then you can place one more. Okay, so back at your on and off switch, we have this mechanism with the observer that's pushed into this one. And we want to put a dropper and place a block here. So now that you turn it on, you should hear it go off. And power this one. And then you can just put an observer there. That should be your bone meal supply done. Now if you do want more bone meal, as I was saying before, I haven't actually made something to do that. Probably just expand it like this. In fact, that's actually much better. Why did I have it the other way? You can just do this, because you don't have to worry about the hoppers. So there you go. That's your bone meal storage. Just switch it around as I had before. Don't worry about that. So that is pretty much that on and off switch done, and you can test it. So the reason why we have this redstone torch is because this would get bud powered by this system. So we want to turn that off using this rail. We want to turn that clock off with this rail, or these rails, but it's powered by this redstone torch. And then we have this observer to update this. So if you didn't know, it is updating this piston without a block. So let's move on to the TNT duper. Now, so where your logs are going to be pushed out, we want to put is 6 blocks high, or 7 blocks, because you want the logs to be able to fit through. 7 blocks high system of obsidian, not system, but of obsidian, so your stuff doesn't get blown up, and so the TNT doesn't blow it up. And then you can go ahead and get sticky piston. So this tower of redstone, this redstone here, will actually power this piston, which will spit out its block. Then we can just use scaffolding, which is a very useful block in tree farms, especially the ones with TNT dupers. And we can just build a scaffolding tower like this. It should be around this tall. So 1, 2, 3, 4, or I should say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 blocks tall. And basically what happens is this spits out its block, sends an update, because this is, as you can see, this is actually now updating, which means this observer will detect it, send it into the sticky piston with an observer on its face. And we can just go out and place sticky piston, and then we want to wire this so I can explain it. So we have 2 redstone. This spits out twice every time because it's getting an update. This is going out and then back in. As you can see, it just powered twice. Now every time it powers, or it only powers once because there's only 1 block for it to go through. So once it comes over here, oops, once it comes over here, sends a quick update and doesn't do anything else. That's it. But every 2 trees, it's going to send another update. So this slime will be pushed out and then pushed back in, and that's when the TNT duper is going. So you want to build this kind of shape. It's I don't know what shape it is. Then you want to get a detector rail and then a minecart on top of the detector rail, which will power. You can kind of see it. Then you want to get a wall of any of your choice and place it there. I wouldn't recommend placing the TNT in till the end, just so it doesn't end up blowing anything. But place a dead coral. I'm using dead tube coral fan, but it can be any coral. And if you want to do a dispenser, you're probably going to have to modify yourself, but right now I will do a design that you might want to use for a dispenser. So put a dispenser here and take out all this, and then just bring this around and down and put the redstone on like that. Oops, shouldn't have done that. But yeah, that's basically what you would want to do if you had a dispenser, but I'm not going to do that right now. And make sure your rail is actually facing this way. Here. Make sure it's facing towards the sticky piston, because if it isn't, then I don't think it will work. And then you can just get a cobble wall, place it like that. Now this is how we're going to line the TNT. So we want 2 glazed terracotta. And then we want 3 glass like that. And basically it's going to drop down. You want to glaze terracotta at the bottom of your slime block pusher. And you want to wrap it out, so go 4 blocks. Oops. 4 blocks and 4 blocks on each side. Why is my game lagging like that? What is, I don't know. Can you, okay, anyways. And then you want to block like that. So it's 4 and 1 here. That's going to leave 3 blocks of space for your water stream. An open fence gate right there so the water doesn't flow out onto your stuff. And then with glass, you can go 3 blocks under like that. Make sure this one is open. Jeez, it's so choppy for some reason. Then your water source can go there. And you can put 2 glass. These actually have to be glazed terracotta. Why is mine chopping all the time? That's really annoying. So this is your TNT system done. And you can just put one more glass here. So basically, this water source here isn't actually really involved. The reason why we have that is in case the TNT does end up actually not going directly in this block. It goes some, like that much over into this block, and it'll still catch it, and it'll still be fine. Now to place your TNT, you want to make sure this is not open yet. Place your TNT there. Now it will not update. As you can see, it will not update, but you will need to prime it. Now you don't actually need to prime it, actually, because it will prime itself once you start the farm, but just to test if it works, you can really quickly prime it. And it should not blow up anything if you did it correctly, like that. Yeah, that's your whole farm basically done. The only thing that you need is, from this dirt block, you want to go 1, 2, oops, shouldn't have done that. But you should see that it does actually go out one more block. But anyways, I'm going to go up 1, so go over here and here. So it should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 blocks up. That's where you want your concrete, so 2 blocks and then like that. So that's where you want your concrete block for this farm. As you can see, my saplings just went down to 1. That meant that I wasn't getting that many saplings. But then it went back up to 5. So you'll be around in the same range as before, but if you, for whatever reason, do run out. Yeah, I've just got a lot. My positioning might have been bad. You can just go up to these leaf blocks, and some will fall down, because there will be some up there. And some might fall down here, which you can modify the hoppers to change. So yeah, that's pretty much the whole farm. It's been Kishabub. Thanks for watching.